Alright, so today we're going to be using all these parts and we're going to be making a JHEMCU target. It looks exactly like this one, so let's get into it. Alright, so on this particular drone we're going to be having a red LED strip along the back. So let's solder that up now. So I pretty much fit it in the little gap there so it holds it pretty strong. Right, first we got to peel back the tape and then make sure the sticky stuff's off of your little solder joints. It's easiest to face this towards you. Make sure your soldering iron is nice and clean. Gonna be using some little itty bitty wires for this one. Alright, perfect. Okay, so far we've got our LED strip right here, that red one. We've run the wires from the end of it, right there, and we'll have them come along and then up through this little hole, conveniently located at the bottom of the frame, straight up into our battery pads. And then that will be LEDs, so you can fly it at nationals and other places that require LEDs. So now what I'm doing is just breaking the seal between those so then they're not gonna like flick up and flick lead everywhere. Now doing the battery lead is always good fun, especially after the LEDs have been added, but whatever. So we pretty much the way I like to do it is I just get it on there and then I'll just add in a bit more solder after I finish, just to clean it up. Right, so they're both attached now. They would probably do as they are, but I'll add a bit more. Alright, there we go. Alright, there we go. It's perfect. Now we'll just put another little tiny blobs on top for the capacitor. Okay. Alright, there's that. Now we know, just check it's not just sitting there. No. That is pretty much perfect. So now we'll move on to the motors. Just before we put the motors on, so I've already got them here, but we're going to put the rear standoffs on just so we know how much space we've got going with our wires. So just grab the screw, place it through the hole in the bottom there. It'll come out the top. And then just screw it in like that. Tighten it up and wham. So we'll do that again for that one as well. Alright, so now we've got it all ready. So I like to run my motor wires and bring them in. It just looks neater, I feel. So what I'm going to do is put the gummies on here where the flight controller would be. And what this does is this just makes sure I leave enough space for the for it to fit. So just put that on like that. So now we just sort the wires. If I can grab them, there we go. Alright, so we're going to do this wire first, bring it in, and have it come out. So we're going to trim it right here. Now just stripping it. To strip it, these use the 1mm hole, just like that. Alright. Now we've got the wire just here. Tin it up. Now this bit here, this is the tricky bit. Because you have to get a firm hold on it to bring it around and put it there. However, first we're going to have to tin up the pad. Here we go. We grab our wire. Alright. Oh, there we go. Alright, that's the first one done. It's pretty good. Now we just have to do the rest. There's that one. Oh. Tin it. Tin the pad as well. Alright, there's the first motor. I'll bring it down a bit. Alright, so not bad. Now we'll do the other four. Oh, three, sorry. And there we go. All done. It all came out pretty nice, I would say. Now we're up to the flight controller. Right, so now we're up to our flight controller. Here it is right here. Nice and small, yet it has really nice big soldering pads. So we'll take the sticker off, get the gummies in, then start soldering. So getting the gummies into the flight controller is really easy because it's got a little groove right there, so you just kind of just put them in like that. Now when you're plugging in your flight controller to your ESC using the ribbon cable, you have to make sure that you get it in the right way, because if you try plugging it in the wrong way, it will damage the pins, and then you have to solder it to each of these little pads. So that's all connected. I just folded it around a bit and just sit it on for now like that, and just kind of, I don't know, just push those in just so they're kind of out of the way when the camera mount goes on. Now I'm going to look at my soldering diagram I have, or wiring diagram, whatever you'd like to call it, and I'm going to tin up each individual pad that I'll be needing. Alright, so we're going to start with the pad where we use for our receiver. So what we're going to do is we'll need that one, that one, and this one. There we go, they're nice little solder balls. Next is we need to do our VTX. So we'll be running HDzero, and there's a plug. However, I believe that the plug has the wrong pins from memory, so I just solder it on because it's just easier, and I don't really plan on taking it out anytime soon. So we're going to need this one right here, and that one, and then that one as well. So that is the RXTX 10 volt ground for our HDzero VTX, which we will get out now. Alright, so we've done our VTX. I'll just keep that tag on just for the time being. Now what we're going to do is I normally mount it with the little antenna port at the front. So what I'll do is clip my antenna on, which I've already threaded through the TPU. Now I'll just move the drone out of the way for the time being. So I've got that. Now I'll grab a tiny little bar that's used for holding the antenna on, and the HDzero VTX comes with 3 of these tiny little screws. That screw in right here, and they just hold the VTX antenna in just for some added durability. I believe you can also fit tiny cable ties through there. However, this is the best way to go. And we do it up fairly tight. There we go. Now what we'll do is we will just set that aside, bring the drone back, and I'm going to solder on our receiver. So this is a Foxeer EP2 Lite ELRS receiver. So there it is. I'll just grab the heat shrink out right here. This receiver comes pre-soldered with the little wires on it, which is really handy. So if you can actually open the heat shrink, there we go. What you can do is you can just sit it in there, grab lighter, there we go. Alright, now got our 4 wires. we can just double check on here. So purple needs to go to the TX pad on the flight controller, which I have up next to me. Alright, now we are up to soldering our receiver on, so let's do that. There we go. All soldered in. Alright, now we are up to doing our HDzero VTX onto the flight controller. So we'll just push that down and set that where it'll sit. Guys, just need to go to there, but we'll leave some distance just so it's easy for maintenance of the quad. So just cut that because it's easier that way. Now I will strip and tin each of these wires and come back. Alright, so now we have gotten our wires ready on the HDzero. We will solder them in. So we'll start with cleaning this off because it's got a bit dirty to sand. Right. So it starts with ground, then 10 volt, and then yellow. Alright. Now, that's all good. We need to do the HDzero camera, which is super easy. Just grab the camera, open it. Here it is. And I will return shortly. Alright, and a good trick, so got my Nano 90 HDzero camera. A good trick that I have been told along the way, and I use myself, is to put a bit of clear nail polish on your camera, on the screw. So, just check, yeah, just like this. That's all you need, and what that does is that stops the camera unfocusing during flight. Pretty much the only way you'll get an unfocused camera now is if your camera's smashed. Alright, so we're currently up to this stage in our build. The nail polish on our Nano 90 should be pretty much dry. So now we have the screwless Nano 90 camera mount, 50 degrees. It uses, just the stock lens, because I have no problem with the stock lens. Just fold it up. Perfect. There it is. Nice and in the camera mount. And then it holds it in at the back. From there, you can just put the camera out. On like that, and what we'll do is plug in the HDzero camera and then put the top plate on with the pod. Alright, so we will pretty much just plug the camera into the little plug There you go. Alright, now, yeah, this camera MIPI cable, I just kind of just tuck it up on top. I'll put the antenna, the rear standoffs. Alright, and we're gonna put little nuts on the top of these. So, I like using them that come with the stack. I feel like they're just a tiny bit thinner than the ones that come with the frame. So what I do is I sit it on top. I'll push it down with my thumb and spin it, and then that normally gets it on the thread. So I'll do that for all of them and then come back. Alright, so that is all screwed in, good to go. Now we are putting the top plate on. So what I will do is grab the pod, line it up. Ooh, which way was it this way? Line it up like that, and just drop each of the screws down through the hole, or just do diagonal opposites, just like that. From there you can just drop it on, screwdriver, screw them all in. We'll just screw 2 in for now, and then that is our Jazz 3 Targa complete. Now for Betaflight. Alright, so the total weight of this drone is 277 grams. That is paired with just one of these Foxeer battery straps and then a roughly cut piece of Mantis battery pad. If we add some of the HQ prop R36 repellers just on the weight, it will bring it to a total of 293 grams. Alright, if I add a version 5.0 6S 1550 mAh Tpro R-line battery, it'll bring it to 544 grams. A 1300 JHEMCU 6S high voltage battery brings it to 488. A 1500 mAh JHEMCU battery 6S makes it 510, and then just a 1550 4S, so it's just 483 grams. Each of these propellers weighs 5 grams. Alright, so now that it's all fully assembled, I've set up my serial ports. So we have, on your 1 was HDzero VTX, and you just set up MSB display port and turn that on. This is where we soldered on our ELRS receiver. From here, just got my name for the OSD, changed my battery to 4.36 so I can use high voltage batteries. Just put a tune on and put in my rates. Got my channel map all set up each and every one of my modes. I'm running props out. Chose my optimal OSD, which is fairly plain, however I might move that into the center. And then I've got my VTX all set up in team race mode 1, and then that's pretty much it. Take it for a test flight later. Alright, so from here we just click race v3. We want to load the firmware from online. Just pick the most recent one. Just flash the VTX and it sees it is as easy as that. From there we just press cancel.